Have you ever been in a situation where you're supposed to be the expert about something, but at the end, you end up looking like a fool? Well, that happened to me. Let's talk about it. So this was 2 or 3 years ago. I was at an older gentleman's house doing a landscape consultation. We were talking about redoing the front of his house, and so we're looking at these landscape beds, and out front he had this big jumbled mess of different ground covers. There was English ivy and Asian jasmine and some other stuff, weeds growing in there, shrubs that had resprouted, and it was just kind of a mess, and we're kind of going through it. And then amongst all of that chaos, I see some poison ivy sticking out there. And so as we're walking around, I'm like, hey, you've got some poison ivy in here too, so that's gonna have to be addressed. And he looks at me and was like, huh, you think that's poison ivy? And I was like, yeah. I was really confident. So then he starts leading me more towards the back of the property along his driveway, and he points out a couple other little plants and he goes, is that poison ivy too? And I said, yeah. And what about this one? And I said, yeah, of course. And I'm getting more and more confident as we walk along until we reach the back fence. And at that point, he looks up into his neighbor's yard at a large tree and he says, you don't think those are from this box elder tree that's right here? And I immediately knew that, of course, he was right. So box elder trees are not very common in our area, but his neighbors had a really big one, and they do throw out seeds, and those seedlings were coming up all over his property. And the box elder seedling is very, very similar to poison ivy leaves. So similar, in fact, that I was completely tricked. I mean, just look at this. This is a box elder seedling or sapling. And then this here is a small poison ivy plant. You can see just how similar those are. So there's two things to learn from that story. One, make sure you know what you're talking about if you're going to be confidently asserting something. And number two, don't mess with old guys.